Let's now talk about how to use some of the filtering tools in Excel to filter our data. In other words, to narrow down what we're viewing in a list. Now we have open our ABC Company Compensation and Bonus Worksheet, and the filter command exists on the ribbon under the Data tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Data, and then I have beside my sort options an icon for filter. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click a cell within the range of data within my table. I then click on that filter icon. Notice what this then does. It gives me a little drop down arrow beside each column heading in my datasheet. That little drop down arrow will then allow me to select from all the unique entries within a given column. For example, let's look at the department column. If I click that little drop down, it'll show me all the departments I have to choose from, including this select all option, which means to include or display all my departments. Here I have accounting, HR, IT, marketing, R&D. All the unique entries that exist within that column. I can then tell the filter that I only want to display my accounting records. I choose OK and take note what happens. Only the employee records that are part of the accounting department are displayed. Everything else is suppressed or hidden away temporarily. You'll notice the filter is in effect because the little drop-down arrow beside that column has a little filter icon beside it. Also take note of the row numbers. You'll see that now that certain rows, the rows that are not being displayed, are skipped. And take note that the rows that are actively displayed as a result of the filter, the numbers appear in blue. To return all of my data to the screen, I can go ahead and click that filter drop-down arrow that has a filter applied. I can then choose Select All, which will place a check mark in the box for all the department options, and I say OK. That brings everything back on the screen again. So you see, filtering is a very helpful method of narrowing down what you have, and just think in terms of the utility of that in spreadsheets that are extremely large with many, many rows. All right, and the filter is also only useful for columns in which there are, recurring categories. For example, if I go to salary, chances are most every employee is going to have their own unique salary assigned to them. And there might not be any recurring salary amounts, so it might not make a lot of attention to sort by the salary column. But if I were to go to the pay grade column, for example, well, many pay grades are repeated throughout this organization. So I'm going to say, well, I'm going to just uncheck the select all and say I just want to view those in pay grades EL09 through EL11, including EL10. I say OK. Notice that just shows those employee records of the pay grades I specified within my filter options, and they suppressed all the others. The results can then be printed out without you having to create multiple tab sheets and dividing up the data in the different ways that you might choose to filter it. I'm going to bring everything back again by clicking on the drop-down arrow that has the active filter. I'm going to click the box beside Select All, and I'm going to say OK. Also within filters, you can select data that meets certain criteria according to what your display needs are. So let me go ahead and reestablish the filter here. And for example, say I want to view all records for employees, and only those employees whose salary is $80,000 or above. I can click on the little AutoFilter drop-down on the salary column. Now, where it says Number Filters, if I hover over that item and then I go over to the right, I see all my options here. I can say any salaries that equal or do not equal a certain amount that I specify, or that are greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, that fall between two numbers that I specify, the top 10, those above average, those below average, and I can also customize my filter criteria. I'm going to say I want all records for employees whose salary is greater than or equal to, and here I can type in my amount, 80,000. And note that I can also have an additional condition. There's the and or the or option, but I'm just going to use that one single criterion there. I say OK. And here I have the 4 employees whose salaries are 80,000 or greater. To turn off the filter again, I can click on the drop-down arrow that has the filter displayed. Or, you can also come back up here to the ribbon, and you have the option to clear. Clear will also clear any filters you have on your data.